Hey, it's Matt with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Tuesday. It's September 19th. This will be our chart lesson for today. And we started out, we had a really bearish day. Looks like we might finally close outside this support level. And lo and behold, we rallied back and closed well within inside that. So this market just does not want to go lower than that. This seems to be the line in the sand right now. And we can't seem to penetrate that. We did actually, I'll take that back. We did penetrate it momentarily, finally today, but it didn't last long, and we closed much higher. I mean, this is almost turns into a bearish bar before, a bullish bar before the day is over. Um, so we may be going to bounce from here. We'll just have to see. But that's what it looks like on the um, daily chart. But if we when we flip over, you'll see that we had the big bearish day, and then we bounced off of it pretty strongly, so off those lows. So let's flip over there and take a look at the 2000 tick chart. And here it is. You can see the big sell-off. Um, it looks like we get a closeout outside here. That's not really convincing. We closed right at the line really before it was over. We pushed through it, but it doesn't really give you a convincing closeout. So I don't think we got a convincing close outside the trend line until right in here. And then we had 3 pushes down, reversed, and we just didn't really get a chance to ride that out of there. It just reversed and took off. I think there's one trade that I really like this afternoon. Otherwise, there's just not much happening there. So, um, anyway, it was a big rally, but there wasn't a lot of opportunity to trade it. Not with good entries anyway. But let's zoom in here and we'll go through the trades. 7 o'clock comes right in here as we're bouncing. Looks like what we pushed through the EMA and pulling back. And we tried multiple times to go higher there. I marked this as a failure. It doesn't really break higher there, but you get a 2-bar matching high, which is like you could treat that like a new high. So first entry and second entry. So if it breaks below that green bar, I think you can treat that as a failure. Personally, I'd want to wait till this closes. So maybe you go short there, but then you're going short at the very low of the bar and the very low of the move. And I never really like doing that. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But you're taking a big chance. But we did just come right off the EMA there, so I think that gives that a little more credence for going lower. And the bottom just falls out of it. So if you took that, it may be the only trade you had to take today. But of course, we get a break and a couple legs down here, and then we rally back to the main trend line and turn down. This one is really tempting. I didn't mark it. We are a little ways away from the EMA, and it does confirm that key entry point. If you took that, I wouldn't blame you for wanting to take that. I think it's a little risky. You're probably better off to wait on a lower high, which you just don't get until way down here, and you get a failed second entry long, which that's a continuation pattern type of failure, and it kind of takes off here. There was somewhat of a lower high here, but the signal bar is not very good. Then you're just so far away from the EMA, it's not worth trading. But notice what happens. We bounce down here. We get our first break. We get a first entry, second entry. Normally, I'd want to see this come back to the EMA, but it looks like we're headed to the other side of the trend channel line, and so it wouldn't be completely out of the ordinary to turn. I mean, you wouldn't be unexpected for it to turn and go lower there to head to this other side. It ends up kind of working somewhat sideways back over here to the other side, but it's a clear second entry with a clear signal bar, nice signal bar, and this strong downtrend, I'm going to take that. And then you get another second entry short here, but you also get a 1, 2, 3 triple test right at the EMA, and that bar is only like 5 ticks. I think that's worth risking. It takes it a minute, but it drops on down. So it would have been a nice trade. And then, of course, we bounce. We get a break, a couple legs up, and turn back down again. That's not a second entry. It's like a first entry, second entry, third entry. But this bar is like 5 ticks, yes, right at the key entry point. It's a possibility there's a close outside. Like I said, it's not real convincing, but maybe you take that trade. I like it. And it does turn out to be a pretty nice move down. You don't get a big time runner there or anything, but it's still a nice move. And then you get a real clear first entry, second entry right at the key entry point. Again, I like taking that. And then we're just chopping sideways. I don't see anything. It's tempting to go short there, but we made a new high. So I almost think you need to wait on a lower high, in which we never get. And then we bounce here again. Notice how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And so, I mean, we got clear proof. We got support there. And that is a first entry, second entry. So I like going long there just to try to get a scalp out of it. And of course, it runs up. You get a first entry, second entry, and then third entry. Again, this looks very similar to this move right here. It's almost a perfect repeat pattern. You get your move up, break, and then notice all those matching bars, and it breaks higher. Really what you is you get a break and two legs back up, and that one tick higher that fails and turns down, I like going short there. And you'd expect it to try to go to the other side of the channel, which it does, and it bounces. Again, I don't see anything right there that I'd really want to trade. And then you do get two legs back in the second entry here, but again, the signal bar is no good. And it looks like we just folded over into a flatter channel, at least for this moment. And then you run up, you get a first entry, and when this turns and goes side, it's a second entry short. These have matching highs, so you can treat that like a first entry, second entry there. Your signal bar has to be this bar, so you go short one tick there. You could almost treat that like a lower high, and if you took that, I wouldn't blame you. You're just looking, prices shot through the EMA, pulled back, tested it. They also pulled back and tested the midline there and closed below it. If we break lower there, we're probably going on down. Just a first entry short there. You might say, hey, that's a failure, but that's not really where you're looking for one. And of course, it reverses. You get a little bit of an overshoot here, then it reverses, and it just turns and runs up. And I don't see any good entries there. I really don't. Even here, I don't really like the entry or setup. Same thing all the way up here. It's a really nice, strong rally, but I just don't see anything I like. There is a second entry here, but that's so sideways. Not much room to scalp out before those highs. I'd skip that. And of course, we failed on a breakout, come back down, and now we got a triple test down here with a, let's see, it's like a 6-tick bar. If it breaks above that, I almost made this one green because you get this inside bar beside it. But I still like if it breaks above that because look how we've been going up, down, up, down, up, down. So there's a good chance we're going back up, which we do. Then it tries to go higher twice and fails and turns down. If you had enough room to get out there, I'd say, hey, consider taking that trade, but you don't have room to get out there. And of course, it bounces, but again, it closes below the resistance, so you don't want to go long right there, and you miss out on another big move because it just doesn't give you a very good setup. Now, this trade here, notice how we try to go higher once, twice, and it fails. It's just a first entry short, and it's not a great signal bar. On a failure, it doesn't matter, and there's a lot of room back to the EMA. You would expect prices to probably snap back here. So it's, if you really want to be aggressive, maybe you take that trade. It ends up moving on down pretty quick. And we got an overshoot here, and we just kind of work back sideways. And the overshoot tries to make some noise here late in the afternoon, but that's as high as we ended up getting. We kind of sold off from there. We tried to rally again here, but all this is in the gray as well after 2:30, and we don't take trades after 2:30. So not much after about 11 o'clock today. It got really slow. There's one nice blue one and maybe a few green ones in there if I remember right, but not a lot going on there. So it's kind of difficult to trade this afternoon. But there it is. That's how I saw it. Um, yeah, unfortunately, we rallied back inside that range. It looks like we're still range bound to me for now. So we just can't seem to move out of this phase. But that's the way trading is. So you see it there. That's how I saw it today. So I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next.